knocked out of that game. Winston for Blake, and it's taken away. It's another Buffalo takeaway. Matt Milano, and he's another Florida guy from Orlando, Florida. So the play calling aggressive here in a one-score game, and now they try and run with Doug Martin, but that goes nowhere. They're running it, and he'll lose yardage. Doug Martin just got hit as soon as he got the football. Matt Milano, who had an interception earlier, with a good tackle.
Strong hitter, that's what he is.
Carr right back to Washington. He lost the football right to Milano. Milano with blockers. Milano will go. Touchdown, Buffalo.
He makes the play.
Richard awaiting the punt from Schmidt. It's a good one. Richard at his own 12. He slips, gets back up, and now he's down, and so is a flag. The ball comes out late. Loose ball, and the officials have not indicated yet who has recovered.
The best rule that the NFL instituted is you can't try and peel guys off the pile.
Buffalo football.
On 2nd and 7, Kareem a punt again. And Matt Milano, the rookie linebacker out of Boston College, making the stop. Smith from his own end zone, now going to run it out and keep it. And jumping and leaping for first down yardage. Let's see where they mark him down.
You know, he does a lot of good things well that just quarterbacks get a blame and they get the credit.
That could have gone. That was right in the hands of Matt Milano.
Drake, something that he's also had to improve upon as the starter. Met in the backfield and swarmed and taken down. Rookie Matt Milano, the first guy there.
Tackle and Kenyon Drake is the running back. On first down, they give it to Drake, and Drake is hit in the backfield and dropped. It was Matt Milano coming into the backfield to bring down Drake.
It's Collins, brought down. Nice defensive play right there by the undersized Matt Milano. Trying to build on that, prove that this year. He's got more weapons than as we've talked about.
Yeah, they got to be able to stretch the field in the passing game, and that's why they went out and he put the ball on the ground.
Collins was hit initially and wrapped up by Edmonds, the very athletic rookie out of Virginia Tech, and it's going to be Buffalo's ball.
Is going about doing it with Brandon Bean in Buffalo.
2nd and 11. Dixon has no place to go. Nice convergence right there.
Here's Cousins. Pressure on him. And the ball's out again. And the Bills recovered again at the 25-yard line. Milano with the recovery. And Cousins has coughed it up twice here in the first quarter. This time stripped away from him by Jerry Hughes. Can they pick up just their 2nd first down of the day on 3rd and 7? Cousins incomplete. Intended for Thielen. Blitz. Cousins again is in trouble, and Milano wrestles him down. How about this pressure put up by the Buffalo defense? Now on 2nd and 10. Middle of the field, ball up in the air. Did it ever hit the ground?
Yes, that's intercepted.
Never hit the ground. Milano already has a fumble recovery. Has an interception.
The owners meetings ever talking about eliminating tie games in the NFL in the regular season.
There's got to be a better way. On 2nd and 15, slam down Jamal Williams.
Put your feet at the sticks and be more aggressive on Sharp. And now they quicken the pace. Football's loose. Taywan Taylor coughing it up. Waiting for the signal, and Buffalo has it.
19 yards and 2 interceptions. See if he can get the Texans offense back on track, and Milano flying in the backfield. Tackle for a loss for the second-year man out of Boston College. First down and 10 from the 41. Miller, Milano, and Yarbrough helping out as well. No gain on the play. They flip it to QT. QT trying to get around the edge, and he can't. Matt Milano, Phillip Gaines, Micah Hyde, all converging on the football. Ball now at the 9-yard line, 3rd and goal. Hughes is coming. Watson gets away from him. Watson fires. Broken up. Milano got a hand on it. What a season for Matt Milano. And the Bills defense forces a field goal attempt by the Texans.
The 228-pound receiver and return man. And knifing into the backfield that time was Matt Milano. What a play by Milano.
Because usually he gets the single coverage.
3rd and goal. Incomplete. As Gronk was covered by Matt Milano.
When he qualified, won him doing the right things.
On 3rd and 3, a little option here. The pitch, Trubisky, and the Bills are ready for is Cohen is knocked down.
Again, if you're just joining us, no Robbie Anderson today. He's out for the Jets with an ankle injury. Pressure coming, McCown has to get rid of it, and it's up for grabs and picked off. Matt Milano on the return for Buffalo, and Milano still going. Finally brought down at the 45-yard line. 2nd interception of the season for Milano.
Not very good. See what Lambeau has done as the field goal kicker. Bortles pass deflected and intercepted. Matt Milano with the pick. Milano still going, ducks inside Jacksonville territory, knocked out of bounds at the 35 by Eric Flowers.
They have a 7-0 lead with 6:46 to go in the opening quarter. Tannehill keeps it himself, and he is taken down. Matt Milano on the tackle. Takes it up the middle, and he's taken down for a loss. Milano the first to get there. Big play by one of the Bills' top performers on defense this season.
And there was a
retirement to join the team. 2nd down and 10. Hasn't played in preseason. Bell coming off the side. A nice play right there defensively. Take the Bell, and that is bad. And almost reeled in.
Hard in for the first time today. Dalton quick pass near side. Pass is complete. It's Ross. He fumbled the ball, and the Bills pick it up.
A lot of new kids on the roster. Sony Michel, nowhere to go. Tremaine Edmonds, first man there for the Bills. It's a loss of 1. White sets up as a receiver. Brady hangs in the pocket, loops one. Incomplete. James White, the intended receiver.
Inside, smothered. Nelson Aguilar tried to run with it. Matt Milano was right there.
Green play, running play at that time.
Eagles take over. Nelson Aguilar is knocked down behind the 20-yard line. Matt Milano with a big play.
We're not as good as our 5-1 record says we are. They came out against a 3-4 Philadelphia team with a lot of injury.
On the 3rd down for Buffalo, as Haskins hands to Peterson, and Peterson is going to lose yardage.
9th play of the drive, a pitch to Chubb, and Chubb is not going to get there. Milano and Poyer converge on that tackle, a loss of 1. Again, it's Chubb on 4th and goal. A pitch to Chubb, can he get there? No! What a stand by Buffalo! Somehow Cleveland comes away empty. Little Mo has played big.
Big Mo in a little while.
No question. 3rd and 4. Mayfield in trouble. Mayfield goes down. And that is Matt Milano, who's able to get back there.
But that is a huge play in this game, and now you're looking at 3rd and long. We've had a bunch of these so far. Fitzpatrick set again. Fourth time they've gotten to him. And how they can get after the passer. Fitzpatrick's passing is broken up.
Allen with the 3rd and 19. Leary with the block. Here comes the rush by Wilkinson, and it was almost picked off. It's incomplete. They were going for Patrick. Brandon Allen, Philip Lindsay, blocked by Freeman. They're using 2 backs a lot today. Milano is over there and also shutting it down, Micah Hyde.
Defense. Turnovers have been huge tonight. Hodges begins the second half with a throw that's caught by Johnson. Deontay Johnson. Stiff arms where the ball is out. And Jones is there to recover it. Tevin Jones saving the day.
Blue 20.
Give it to him. And he gets stuffed by Matt Milano.
So that they can continue this drive.
0 for 4 on 3rd downs. Darnold chased out again, rolling left, throws across his body, middle of the field, and it's no call yet. Is it intercepted? Matt Milano is there. He's got it. That was a really dangerous pass by Darnold. And
This is a fast-starting offense. Quick snap. Goff is going to be sacked at the 34 by Matt Milano. From the pocket, incomplete, and
that was a rare missed throw by Carr, but still I thought they had a chance. 3rd and 12 underneath, and it's incomplete.
A 2-minute drive, screen, quick throw, get yourself into transition. Get it out.
Darnold under cover, under pressure, and goes down.
Pete Johnson used to love running over me.
3rd and 3 here for the Steelers. Roethlisberger over the top, and Eric Ebron could not hang on. It's incomplete. 3rd and 9 here. Buffalo showing all kinds of pressure one more time. Then is finally sacked. First time in a long time. Ball comes out as well. They're going to rule Roethlisberger down.
And he's still kind of processing all that information.
Locke, another check down, this time to Gordon, and Matt Milano in the open field makes a good tackle for a loss. No surprise that since Milano's been back and Klein has played better, the Buffalo defense looks a lot better.
That's Joe DiMaggio hitting streak kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it may be painful here in New England for a little bit.
Stidham.
Move the chains once again, now at the 39. 7th play of the opening drive. Taylor this time cannot break away from that initial wave, led by Taron Johnson, who was pressing the line. It's a loss of 1 on the play.
Big time of possession advantage. 3rd down and 3. Jackson fires, and that's incomplete.
Extra offensive tackle, tight ends, fullback in the game. They were trying to get cute and get a big one.
Steelers take over out near midfield, blown up on the play. Zach Gentry.
In man on the top side, you got one-on-one. Down below, it's going to be combination. See if they don't run a rubber up. And they do. Back inside.
Need to get to the 5 for a first down. Oh, he dropped it. Grant fumbled it.
Yeah, but did they give him forward progress?
Remember last time they got in the red zone, they turned it over on the fumble. Brissett wrapped up. Doesn't go to the ground. Now he does. Only 6 feet tall. Heineke out of that crowd and completes. And for the first down is Logan Thomas fighting his way. Ball comes out, and the Bills have it. He was all the way to the 45 of Buffalo, and that last twist, and the ball came out.
Waited for their opportunity to get Josh Allen.
Gibson trying to stay on his feet to the 15-yard line.
To take a look at and mandate that we get that turf all the way out to the walls.
On 3rd down, the ball is knocked away.
For 126 yards. Looking to throw on 1st down. Gets rid of it quickly. Gaskin is stuffed. Matt Milano with the big play. A pitch to Hyde. Hyde is cut down. Matt Milano.
Where do the Jets go here on 2nd and 5 with White under center? Carter is blown up.
White begins from the shotgun. First down pass. Check down, and Coleman is going to lose yardage as he is
the leading rusher in the NFL, Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin. Taylor here. Nice play coming up. Matt Milano playing with a bad shoulder, and he throws him for a loss of a yard back to the 18.
Simeon was signed to the practice squad, kept around in the offseason, and he's in because of the Jameis Winston injury. Ty Montgomery tries to get to the edge and nothing doing. You hear the Bills fans, Matt Milano the tackle, hear the rest of the Bills defenders. In the game against the Buccaneers 4 weeks ago. Simeon trying to throw the screen to Montgomery, but that was handled easily by Matt Milano. Michelle?
Just outside the 10. And Stevenson is sent flying for the Patriots. Stevenson flipped. It's 2 for 2. Milano again.
It's hard. Now he's got to communicate to everybody. He's going to come and take the back.
Milano coming after him, and he got to him. Matt Milano with the sack at a critical juncture.
Ryan to the sideline, deflected and caught, but out of bounds. Somehow Zacchaeus got both hands on that one, but he could not get the feet down on the sidelines.
Touchdown pass, a 40-yard catch and run by Cole. Carter in motion, pressured on the play, got away from Hughes, and then was tripped up and taken down.
Opportunities with the Bears and the Dolphins. Jones, popped up in the air, intercepted. Levi Wallace in the right spot, off the ricochet. Tannehill empties the backfield on 2nd and 13, has some pressure, throws, he's intercepted. Matt Milano, pick 6, Buffalo.
He wanted to learn from the young guys, teach the young guys. Learn from the old guys, teach the old guys.
Oh, that's Willis wanted it, and he's stopped by Matt Milano.
And Hunt, who was at the right tackle, moves to his starting right guard, 3rd and 2. Almost picked off by Milano, and a flag thrown.
34 yards on the ground for Jackson, 108 yards through the air. Running play didn't work. J.K. Dobbins sniffed out by Matt Milano, trying to get to the outside. 2nd and goal. Jackson on again. Dobbins gets blasted. Matt Milano.
And that shows you Kelsey's not slowing down at all. I keep waiting, right? And I'm like, you're going to play to your 50 like Brady and still be dominating.
Come right back to a pass to the left side. What an important tackle that was by Milano on Pacheco.
10 of those 12 on the ground. Rodgers toss. Dillon's got a couple of blockers to lead the way, but Milano got out there, and Dillon got pulled down very awkwardly. His 6th career 200-yard rushing game tied the all-time NFL record. That's deflected and intercepted by Matt Milano. So one play and the Bills get it back. Maybe Jordan Phillips with the deflection. Milano the takeaway.
1st and goal for the Vikings. Madison blown up, pulled down. Matt Milano. Vikings again on the doorstep. It's Delvin Cook, pulled down in the backfield. Matt Milano this time.
Chubb is back there in the Wildcat, running left, chased by Milano and caught by Milano.
Here we go. 180.
Brissett dropped the football. Bills say they have it, and they do. Remember, it's a backup center in. Froholt, Brissett never had it, and Buffalo comes away with it. Chubb is stuffed. Matt Milano have a day.
Going up against a left tackle, Kareem Hunt is going to try and chip him before he goes out.
Taron Johnson coming out of blitz, and from the other side, it's Milano. Brissett saw Johnson coming. He did not see Milano, who picks up his 1st sack of the year.
Mistake on Buffalo not being gap sound and getting all the way to the edge.
Here's Goff. Got a target. Oh, the ball comes out. Incomplete.
Wow.
That was swift. And Milano came over to make it difficult.
A lot of third and long situations. See if we can get some third and medium, third and short. Give ourselves a chance to convert on third down.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
There's a pass over to Knight. That makes White now 10 out of 15 for the game.
Really drafting at a high level here.
Corner puts his head down and drives. Oh, you lost the football. Oh, my goodness. Recovered by Milano.
Of course, it's Milano, and there's a hit that comes flying in.
Fields throws. That is incomplete. Off the hands of Khalil Herbert.
3rd and 19. Jones takes the shot. Pass too high and intercepted. It's Matt Milano. Milano running down the sideline and taken down at the 40-yard line. They tried to strip him at the end, but the pass was intended for Hunter Henry. Here on 2nd and 10. In the pocket and sacked back at the 36 by Matt Milano.
And you're going to make bogeys over and over again. Be aggressive and go win the game. That's how you have to think.
Looking up top. Got the pass somehow away to Ahmed. My goodness, a wounded duck.
The footing on the field isn't allowing it.
2nd and 5. They feed it to Mixon, and he's tackled behind the line this time. It's Milano at 2 sacks and 2 tackles for a loss last week. He's got one right there, loss of 2.
Matt Milano maybe right there, 58.
They rush only 3. They've got pressure on him. Burrow is sacked. It's Milano. He was actually...
Hasn't shown a case of nerves very often in big games.
3rd and goal to the end zone. Chase. Touchdown. What a catch.
Here he is again, and getting through and making the stop is Milano.
But in order for him to get on the field, as you said, with Dwayne Brown at left tackle, he had to move to the right side.
Here's one picked over the middle and intercepted. That's Milano. And Matt Milano is going to draw a flag as he got in the face of Zach Wilson. Just get it away, and they just get it on the handoff to Cook, who's brought down by Ed Oliver.
To lead the brigade in the slot here. 1st and 10. Play action. Garoppolo time. And intercepted Matt Milano!
What an interception.
Wow.
3rd and goal. Robinson trying to get in up the middle, and he's not going to get there.
Here's Mostert. In trouble. And the ball's out. Forced another fumble, and this time I think the Bills have it. It's the 2nd time they've knocked it out of Raheem's hands. Milano was one of those in on the tackle.
Flying over there is Bernard to make him cut back, and Milano knocks it out and gives Buffalo the ball.